Mother of Azarath, give me strength!
Hi, I'm Joey, and welcome to another marvelous video. Rachel Roth, popularly known as Raven, is not someone who seems particularly pumped about Father's Day. The daughter of a human and the demon known as Trigon, Raven is a superhero who is a powerful empath and can control her soul self. Raven made her debut in 1980, appearing in the 26th issue of DC Comics Presents. She was created by Mark Wolfman and George Perez. Despite her lineage, Raven does not share the same values as her tyrannical and severely evil father and will go to any lengths to stop his massacre. She found her family in the Teen Titans, and together, they fought evil and safeguarded Earth. Confused about what the offspring of a human and a demon is like? Do you find Raven's entire ordeal with the soul self complicated? Are you curious about how she even grew up away from her father? Well then, this video is the right place for you. Before diving into the content, we would like to make a very small request to our viewers. Please subscribe to Marvelous Videos, like and comment on our videos, and press the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload a video. We will be grateful to you, and we hope to bring you the best nerdy content. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video.
What the hell?
How does Raven get her powers? With her complicated lineage, it was inevitable for Raven to end up with fantastic powers, because her father is the demon overlord Trigon. However, it is truly astonishing how the daughter of a being who is devoid of any empathy at all has wound up with powers that boil down to her empathic abilities. To understand her origin better, we need to get down to how her parents met. It was far from being the most romantic tale, but Raven's mother, Arella, narrated her tale with a heavy heart in the 6th issue of the new Teen Titans. As a woman, Arella used to be very lonely and confused. She had been abandoned by her mother after birth, while she never knew her father. As someone who grew up without love and affection, Arella was starved for it, but without a direction in her life, she rejected religion and embraced the occult, which would soon become the worst decision she had ever made. She became part of a satanic cult, where Arella was chosen to be the bride of Satan. While the other members chanted to offer Arella, the skies grew dark, and the image of a man appeared to her. This man was far from being anything demonic, and Arella described him as magnificent, the living embodiment of so many of my unspoken dreams. As his bride, she loved and worshipped him as he brought her nothing but happiness, filling the loneliness in her heart with love and passion. But one day, as she saw his reflection in the mirror, the man who stared back was not her beautiful husband. It was evil incarnate. It was Trigon. Soon, Arella's beautiful dream turned into a nightmare, as Trigon would routinely use her for her body, treating her like filth, and eventually throwing her away like a used rag after he was done with her. Trigon banished her to Earth, where she found out that her cult had been destroyed. However, this time she was not all alone, as she was with a child, but she dreaded the fact that the father was Trigon. Arella sought therapy, which never worked for her. Directionless once again, she decided to take her own life. On the day she tried to kill herself, a light appeared to her, and from within, a man appeared who took her hand. Arella was then taken to the other dimension of Azarath. There, she was introduced to the pacifist disciples from the temple. These were people who had forsaken Earth to lead a life devoid of violence, and it was in this dimension that Raven was born. At first, the magistrate of Azarath tried to cast Raven into limbo to prevent her from bringing evil as the child of Trigon. However, with the magistrate getting destroyed in his attempt, the spiritual leader of the temple, Azar, took Raven under his tutelage. Raven was made aware of her lineage, was instructed in the methods of meditation and nonviolence, and taught to create an innate desire to reject her father's influence. She was made to perfect her abilities of empathic healing, astral projection, and teleportation, all while suppressing and controlling the demonic powers she had inherited. So, in a way, several of her abilities were caused by her environment or her nurture. Deeper into the story, Arella met with Raven while the latter had been restrained by Trigon. As Arella tried to fight back Trigon, Raven learned how to use her empathic abilities to defeat her opponent when Arella used Trigon's pain to weaken him.
It's perfect.
All together now.
Azarath Metrion Synthos!
How does Raven look? Raven boasts a phenomenal character design, with her chakra stone, cloak, and goth-like appearance. However, the character has gone through several costume changes throughout the course of her appearances in the comics and cartoons. During the 80s, she would wear a long blue cloak that had 2 brooches with the raven and the bird on it. Her dress was long and split, and she wore gloves that exposed her thumb and index finger. From the very beginning, she had a red gem on her forehead. Occasionally, she would be seen with clothing that seemed like it was directly inspired by Indian culture, with Raven wearing wearing a sari, which is a long cloth that is often stylistically draped around the body. After meeting the Titans, she would experiment with westernized clothing, such as pants, which according to her, were quite uncomfortable, but she would gradually grow into it and appear in shirts, jeans, and dungarees. From 2004 to 2009, the Teen Titans series would solidify the goth stereotype of Raven. She was brought back to life after her death and, despite being a grown woman, had the body of a teenage girl. Her outfit design remained close to the blue cloak and dress, but this time it was shortened with splits on both legs. With the emphasis on accessorization and a change of footwear, it was evident that her second costume was an upgraded version of the first one. However, this became quite controversial among several fans due to the provocative clothing that the character had to wear, primarily because she had the body of a teenage girl at this point. The blatant sexualization did not fly under the radar because to this day, several readers of the comic speak against it. Following the Infinity Crisis, Raven disappeared for a year. She marked her return with another outfit change, and this time she wore a full-body, skin-tight jumpsuit which was dark blue in color. The symbol of the Raven was relocated to her chest. Her hooded cap and accessories were back as well. She changed her outfit again and returned to her second costume, this time without the formal slippers and the gloves. Another key difference lay in the outfit's color, which was more purple than blue. After the launch of the New 52, everything changed in the DC universe, and with that, so did Raven's costume. She was given a costume by her father, Trigon, and she looked more like a supervillain than a superhero. A gray suit highlighted her toned abs in a menacing way. She wore bluish clawed gloves, boots, a tattered cloak that looked like wings, a shoulder piece that added weight to the wings, weird bikini bottoms that looked like it was made from the feathers of a bird, and a helmet that made her look similar to the clickers from The Last of Us. Raven also appeared without her accessories and her forehead chakra gem for the first time. In Teen Titans Go, Raven sported a dark blue leotard with a violet cloak and some gold accessories, but her winter outfit took out the accessories and added bottoms to cover her legs and fleece linings to her coat. Raven's outfit in the Injustice Gods Among Us video game went back to the skimpy leg showing leotard with a cloak. However, her boots were way too thigh-high and weighted, and she was given cooler, clawed gloves. Lady Legacy was a huge change for Raven, who finally changed her color palette, ditching blue for yellow, as she wore yellow shoes and gloves with a sleeveless yellow leotard. In Red Raven, however, her black outfit was made to be very revealing, with little to no fabric covering the sides of her legs or the sides of her upper body. She was also red in color and had a demonic appearance with her black cloak, fingerless gloves, canine teeth, and sinister eye makeup. During the miniseries, Raven, Daughter of Darkness, Raven returned to her skin-tight jumpsuit with a feathered look that mimicked her more menacing New 52 style. She also has a white outfit with a white cloak and a white leotard, which she sports in her White Raven form.
Before he could use me, I was able to trap him inside a crystal. It should have held him.
What is Raven's head gem? If there is one thing Raven's character design is characterized by, it is the gem on her forehead. This magical crystal is a chakra-like gem that keeps the demon inside Raven imprisoned. Tampering with the gem makes her more human, but if it breaks, it will release her inner demon, making her susceptible to getting absorbed by stronger demons like Trigon. In the DC animated movie universe, Raven used the gem to imprison Trigon in it after the demon had found access to the material world. Starfire's sister Blackfire referred to the gem as the Ajna chakra. On several occasions, Raven has unleashed her demonic side with the help of the gem. However, doing so can result in her losing control. Is Raven a demon? So does all this make Raven a demon? Yes, but no. Is Hercules godly? Sure. His father is Zeus after all, but is he a god? No, because his mother is human, making Hercules a demigod. The same applies to Raven, who is a divine, but not necessarily a demon, although she can be demonic. Technically put, Raven is a cambion, which means that she is the offspring of a human and an incubus, succubus, or any other demon. However, the biological humanity in Raven does not hinder her powers. In fact, her powers have grown incredibly, making her nigh omnipotent. Over the course of time, she has grown stronger than Trigon with her powerful abilities, and has acquired the ability to defeat him with ease. Without constantly suppressing herself, Raven could be somewhat like the Spectre. She can destroy universes with a blink and destroy and reshape realities. In the comics, she has killed her father and adopted the form of the White Raven, which is a symbol of her inner purity and the highest form of her power. It is more godly than it is demonic. During her early life in Azarath, Raven would often disrupt the passive status quo of the peaceful temple and rebel against her teachers. Her father's appearances in her dreams played a role in that, proving that Raven is definitely not devoid of her demonic nature. Can she reproduce? Probably, probably not. This is one of those things that cannot be confirmed unless it happens, because biologically, she should be able to do it, but it's not like Raven is devoid of feelings and desires, as she has had a vibrant romantic life. She's the love interest of Damian Wayne in the DC animated movie universe, Beast Boy in Teen Titans, and Kid Flash in the comics. In Teen Titans, Raven has discreetly shown her feelings for Beast Boy, who used to be in love with a girl named Tara. It is not explicitly mentioned whether Raven has feelings for him or not, but it is implied, as Beast Boy has been shown blushing after being hugged by Raven. They have also had a romantic conversation where Beast Boy offhandedly changes the topic, and Raven asks him not to ruin their moment. In the Titans in Tokyo episode, while Beast Boy was being chased by fangirls, Raven expressed her jealousy. However, things take a turn in Teen Titans Go, where Raven made her feelings for Beast Boy clear. The two also became a couple in the show. In the animated original movies, Raven is seen bonding with Damian Wayne in the 2016 movie Justice League vs. the Teen Titans. The bonding and compatibility take themselves a notch higher when both Raven and Damian risk their lives to save one another from Trigon. 2017's Teen Titans Judas Contract implies a relationship between the two of them, with Raven presenting Damian with a puppy, but in 2020's Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, we get a confirmation once again. Damian tells Raven that he had appointed her to be a leader in the Shadow League alongside him because he had feelings for her. At the end of the movie, Raven is seen kissing Damian. This brings us to DC Comics, where Raven has a complicated relationship with Beast Boy. They care for each other, but the 1 year later event separates all the Titans from each other. However, Trigon's antics bring them together once again, and Raven tries to get back with Beast Boy, who is now a part of Doom Patrol. Unfortunately, Beast Boy needs more time to fix their relationship. They later form a group known as the Titans to face Trigon, after which Beast Boy asks Raven out on a date, but she turns him down. However, things take a turn when Beast Boy gets beaten up trying to save Raven, and Raven herself defeats her eternal soul to save Beast Boy. In the end, they share a kiss and become a couple once again. It takes near-death experiences for lovers to come back together, so do not mess up in the first place, unless you are okay with fighting the likes of Trigon. In the ongoing Teen Titans comics, Raven is seen sharing a kiss with Kid Flash Wally West II.
Who are you to judge my life? You have other things to fix here. Just stay away from me, okay?
Can Raven really do magic? Yes, Raven is quite adept at using magic and sorcery, but she wasn't always a magic-wielding superhero. From the 1980s to 1992, Raven used her powers that came from her soul self, which is considered to be the nexus of all dimensions. This meant that her powers were extra-dimensional and psionic on steroids. From the 2000s, however, modern writers began to assign magical power sets to Raven, allowing her to go to extreme lengths, such as warping multiverses and dimensions. In fact, she warped the universe to defeat Trigon. She also happens to be immune to reality warping. How powerful is Raven? Surely, someone who can warp dimensions is abnormally powerful. Unfortunately, Raven does not have enough hype as a powerful character, despite being one of the strongest entities in DC. In fact, she had absorbed Darkseid into her soul self once, following which she rewrote his personality to make him someone who was not so invested in conquering planets. This alone is a far superior ability compared to being able to kill someone like Darkseid. Within herself, Raven contains a universe. She can travel through time and teleport to anywhere, including heaven. Once, as she traveled through dimensions, her interdimensional energy altered the physics of a separate plane. This ended up creating a group of monsters called the Wild. Raven is on par with entities like Ion, Parallax, Amethyst, and Phantom Stranger. She can use her soul self for astral projection, even taking over the minds of other people. This astral form is made of pure darkness, making it an appropriate offensive attack. Her psionic empathic ability allows her to read and absorb the emotions of others. She can also steal those emotions from them, making them numb. On the other hand, she can use her opponent's emotions against them, or force other emotions into their subconscious mind. In the case of her allies, she can absorb their pain and anguish to calm their state of mind. Raven can also foresee the future, albeit to a limited extent, and has no control over it. She can project energy and illusions and fly. Once, she had turned the people of New York City into stone, transmuting them during the destruction of the city. Other than that, she has obvious powers like superhuman durability, telekinesis, and telepathy. How do Raven's empathic powers work? Raven's wide arsenal has a focal point, and it is her empathic abilities that connect her to all her powers because she can sense all the souls across the universe. We know she can absorb the pain of others, but she can also redirect them, relieving herself of said pain while imposing it on an opponent. She can do the same with her own feelings as well. In other situations and specific forms, Raven can gain control over others without them knowing that they are being controlled. In her case, her telekinetic abilities are not cerebral but emotional. emotional. Instead of levitating objects with her mind, she taps into her powers using her state of emotions. And of course, we have the soul self that helps her touch and read numerous souls. However, Raven is not an omni-empath, as she cannot feel all the emotions felt by souls across all the multiverses and dimensions. Being able to do so would definitely be ridiculously exhausting. In the 59th issue of the Tales of the Teen Titans, Raven was able to make Robin witness a vision of his future, which Robin considered to be a dream. Robin was outside Star Labs, which had been besieged by terrorists. Suddenly, he was miraculously transported from the lab to Titan's Tower. Robin meets the new Titans, such as Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg. Here, the others are unable to understand why Robin cannot recognize them, oblivious to the fact that the Robin from the past is seeing a vision from his future. Soon, an amorphous blob attacks Star Labs, and the new Teen Titans head to the site of action. The blob is revealed to be an alien from a different dimension, and it intends to convert the oxygen on Earth into methane, which will inadvertently render the planet lifeless. The creature is eventually driven back to its own dimension after the Titans pumped all the oxygen out of the building, leaving the alien incapable of converting it to methane. But soon, Robin finds himself outside Star Labs once again, which has been besieged by terrorists. All because the entire ordeal with the alien was a vision created by Raven. How does Raven's soul self work? We have mentioned the soul self way too many times across the video without explaining what it really is. The soul self acts as a doorway that separates all 11 realms of the afterlife, and Raven can control the darker passions of this side of hers with her chakra gem. It is a nexus where all souls and dimensions coincide, which means that Raven does not exactly manipulate souls as much. Instead, her soul is the convergence point for every other soul, which in a way means that Raven is just manipulating her own soul. It is a spectral energy that is black in color and aids Raven in battle. Raven, manifesting the soul self, set her identity as Trigon's daughter in stone, and it is this very soul self that acts as the basis for her other powers. While other beings who can astral project have their souls leave their bodies like they are ghosts, Raven's soul self can carry out tasks in the physical world, which is basically her style of telekinesis. The soul self allows Raven to pierce the veil between all universes, letting her stay in whichever verse she desires to remain in. This energy can also travel across any dimension, time, or universe, while acting as Raven's eyes and ears. How can Raven manipulate the shadow? Raven is shown as someone who wants to go to college, and her pick is Manhattan College. To explore what the place is really like, she lets her soul self do all the work, as she meditates in one place. The shadow-like energy leaves her body and flies across New York City to get a good look at the campus and life. However, it also picks up on a terrorist attack that the college has fallen victim to. Raven's soul self then finds all the bombs and absorbs them, sending them into the interdimensional matter. Is she immortal? Yes, Raven is immortal, but not in the way you think. Her physical body can perish, but her soul will continue to live on, and not in a metaphorical way. Her so-called death has resulted in her resurrection because of this very reason. It just takes an appropriate ritual to do so. However, Raven might not return to the material world in her previous body, which is why we see her appear as a 16-year-old despite being 25 in terms of age. Marvelous verdict. Raven continues to be a very underrated character in mainstream media, despite her unique set of powers and interesting storyline. The complex mechanism behind her abilities could be the reason behind her lack of popularity, but we hope this video can solve that problem. And with that, today's video comes to an end. What did you think of Raven? Did you enjoy this video? If yes, then don't forget to like and comment on this video. Till then, goodbye and have a nice one.